Hey, what's up? How are you? How have you been? I'm so excited about today's video. I got to talk to one of my friends called Jumpers. I love this guy. I've been following him since he had around 7,000 followers on Instagram, and now his Instagram has grown up to 20,000 followers and more. He's worked with No Face Records, he's worked with Legion Beats. He has a lot of experience within the music industry and within the game of just marketing and selling yourself as an artist. Today we're going to be focusing only on Instagram optimization. He will not only tell you how to run on Instagram, and then he'll give feedback to your Instagram pages. A couple weeks ago I posted a story where I asked you guys just to send me your name and your Instagram handles to be able to get feedback from Jumpers. So we took a couple of you guys and he gave you feedback. Really excited about this interview. Let's get right into it. What's up, Jumpers? How are you doing? I hope everything's well.
Yeah, what's up? Appreciate that. Yeah, everything is fine. Great.
It's really good to have you here once again. As I mentioned before, I've already talked to Jumpers in the past. We've went into a deep discussion in general on how to build your brand on Instagram. And we also talked a little bit about his background in music and his background in kind of like entrepreneurship, in entrepreneurship world. So make sure you check that out if you haven't heard that. If you've seen it, welcome to this second interview with him. In this interview, we're gonna talk about the specifics on every single step that you need to take in order to optimize your Instagram and grow your Instagram, just like Jumpers was able to do it. So hopefully through his experience, he can share some of his knowledge. And then also, I would like to share with you guys that Jumpers created a very good Instagram optimization program online. It's called the PRODUCERGRAM. I have it. A lot of people have it. It's a very great platform. Me personally, the feedback is only positive. If you want to explain a little bit of what the PRODUCERGRAM is, Jumpers, you can go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, long story short, is basically a training about how to grow your real fan base as a music producer on Instagram specifically. I tried to not include any super bells and whistles, which may look cool, but actually doesn't really give you the foundation you need. It's more focused on the most important stuff, which will actually make you grow. And it's basically minimal information, and then it's all focused on you executing. So there's homework, there's basically examples. So the most of the time in this course you will be doing rather than just looking at the videos and PDFs. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It's not too overwhelming, but it's really great. So I wanted to start the interview. As I mentioned, the topic of discussion will be like Instagram growth optimization, and I wanted to kind of focus it on three big steps. One would be figuring out what content artists should be posting, then how to create that content, and finally how to use that content to grow a brand. So
yeah, for sure.
And that leads to the first question, which is kind of based on one of the ebooks that you share in the PRODUCERGRAM, and this how do you figure out as an artist what content to create, and then how do you tie it to the kind of brand that you're developing?
Yeah, for sure. So I would start with you asking what do you want to achieve? What do you want, maybe some kind of result you want to give, or what do you want to share, first of all? Because if your goal it does not align with your content, first of all, it would be really hard to create content, and it will be really hard to stay consistent. So to ask yourself what's my main goal overall, not just Instagram, not just social media, but what do you want to do? After you know that, you just start creating content around that. For example, if you want to maybe inspire people with your music, then start creating inspiring content, which will take a look at your content and ask is it aligned? Does it align with my goal? Is it inspiring? Well, if yes, well, congratulations, you find yourself what do you need to post?
And in your personal experience, when you were beginning your Instagram and you were making that decision, how did that go for you?
Yeah, for me, from the beginning, I did a mistake. I didn't really know what's my main goal, so I just created everything basically.
Okay.
And yeah, after that I kind of started to figure out that I want to help producers, empower and inspire and motivate people. So I try to share motivational stories, quotes, pictures, and even sometimes just content, cool music or something, which will also inspire people. So yeah, hope that answers your question.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. So once that person has figured out what kind of content that they create, how do they go about actually creating it? So what kind of tools, resources you use to design it? Obviously, Photoshop is very well known, but those that don't necessarily know how to use it, what kind of tools
Yeah.
would you recommend learning?
Yeah, for sure. Like I would see what are your strengths, because some people may be really good at talking to camera, and some may be really kind of introverts and don't want to talk to cameras. So like if you like completely comfortable with camera, just take your phone, like start recording and edit it in simple like editing software for video editing. You can find a lot of those on the App Store or Google Play Store, or you can get Adobe Premiere or Sony Vegas or something like that if you want to go more professional. If you don't feel like you want to be on the video, then create infographics and stuff. You use Photoshop. There is a free alternative called Photopea. Yeah, something like that, Photopea. It's a web-based. It functions exactly like Photoshop, so
Oh, nice. I never
you
heard
can
of it.
use.
I've heard of
Yeah, you can
Canva.
use
Have you
that.
heard of Canva before?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can. Canva is even easier, honestly. Like you can use that and just create what you feel comfortable. Don't like really push yourself to create something that you don't like, because that will not work long term. And if your goal is not long term, I don't know if you really should pursue that.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. Thank you. And once you're like, actually designing, how important would you say is to create like an eye-catching feed, or having a feed that matches with colors or with brand? Like, how do you decide that first of all, and then how important is it?
Yeah, for sure. Like in terms of eye catching, that 100% should be eye catching, almost clickbaity, but like
Okay.
it actually don't be like actual clickbait, but almost just that, because when you scroll through feed, people are scrolling like really fast, and you have to stop their attention
Uh-huh.
somehow. So obviously, bright colors or something that's interesting, something that pops out, and that stuff. And yeah, even if you just post pictures of yourself, try to make them really high quality, something that grabs attention. And the second part of the question is, do you feel like you need to have brand aesthetics and, something like that?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say have some kind of theme or something, but don't feel like you need to have perfect feed on your Instagram. It's good if you have colors, your colors, so you can stay on the brand and people know that's you, that's your piece of content. Again, coming back, like if people know that's your colors, they're scrolling and they see those colors, for example, they will stop and they know, oh, that's your post. But don't feel like you need to have super perfect, beautiful Instagram feed, because anyway, like majority of the people which see your content, I just scrolling through feed, not going to your profile. So
Okay.
there's not much reason to optimize for that look.
So you would say it's important, but maybe like the actual quality of the content is far more important than creating an aesthetic feed. Maybe it's poorer
Yeah,
content.
for sure. Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's
exactly.
also an interesting point, because that means that you don't necessarily need a lot of experience designing. As long as you
Yeah,
have some sort of knowledge, you could already be creating posts that are performing well on the platform. Would you agree to that?
for sure, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, uh, even like if you don't know how to create content, like don't have skills, I guess, you will never get those skills if you don't start creating. That's the
Exactly.
simple
Yeah.
fact. And yeah, I mean, a lot of posts, a lot of content I know is not that great in terms of design. So definitely don't feel like you need to be on the some kind of level to start creating content. I mean, it's free, so like yeah, just share it.
Exactly. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you for that. And kind of moving on, but in the same topic. So when you are designing the feed, from your experience, what works best in Instagram? Carousels, just one image, using
Hmm.
videos. What do you feel like is the most important strategy to use when you're creating that content?
I would say use all of them. Seriously, because Instagram rewards you when you use all of the features.
Okay.
They want you to use all of the features, and in terms of that, also create all type of content because you become a more of a actual human than rather if you have only pictures or only videos, you kind of seem like almost like a robot, you know,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
when everything is the same. So yeah, that's that. But I've seen everything perform really well. Even single pictures, carousels, videos, IGTV. Just it's a matter of the content itself.
And would you say that actually being able to record yourself makes you closer to your audience just because your audience gets to see how you speak and gets to like kind of meet you a little more personally? Would you say that's like important?
Yeah, that's 100%. I mean, people buy from people. People trust people. People like people. They don't like. They don't really trust just just logo. I mean, they trust, but it's the journey to get the trust to buy products or listen to music is far like longer
Exactly.
compared to when you have you just sharing your face, like you're talking with people and stuff. So yeah,
Exactly.
definitely that
Awesome.
helps a lot.
And then moving on to the caption, how would you
Hmm.
structure like the caption? Would you maybe summarize the post in the caption, or would the caption just be the title? What's your tips on the kind of captions to create?
Yeah, for sure. Like with the captions, I would definitely say a lot of people don't give enough context. So they maybe post a picture of themselves and say hello and something like that. I
Okay.
mean, yes, I guess it's cool. Yeah, but all right, cool. But when you post a caption, right caption, which is long form, where people can read, it it gives a better connection with you. Coming
Mhm.
back to the same topic, because they read a lot of things and they feel better connection with you. And inside that captions, try to share stories about your picture, maybe where you were, why did you take that picture, or if it's an infographic or tutorial. Also give more in-depth maybe explanation in the captions, like give more depth to your content,
Uh,
because yeah, that whole the post, the picture or video it gives like a good amount of information for your people, but the captions is what creates the depth
yeah.
for your piece of content.
And in your experience, do most people read long captions, or do they, whenever they see like a long caption, do they skip through it? And is it important to maybe like organize your caption to make it look clean so that people feel more
Hmm.
attracted to read it? Like if it's like just a one paragraph, do most people generally read it or skip through it?
Yeah, for sure. And for sure, like not everybody reads, but those who do read are your real fans.
Yeah.
So definitely have longer form captions, because when you put your time and value and energy into creating longer form captions, people will feel this will create a just better type of audience for you,
Uh-huh.
because what I've noticed, like when you post long form captions, people also comment long form comments. So
Okay.
first of all, that's good because
Yeah.
again, better connection with your audience, and second of all, it's better for the algorithm. Just algorithm sees that people like really commenting and interested in that, so it will show more content for them. And wait, what was the second question? Sorry.
Well, generally, you answered it. It was only one question. It was
Oh,
generally if you feel
okay.
like one paragraph makes people like just not want to read it.
Oh yeah, in terms of one paragraph, for sure, try to split your if it's long form text, split it into separate parts. I mean, just add uh, a wide, not wide, but a space between
Yeah.
text,
Okay.
or just put a dot between those texts, because it will definitely help to read easier.
Awesome. Okay, so if someone was listening to this interview and were following these tips and were able to decide what kind of content they wanted to create, they were able to design it, either using Photoshop or the free tools
Hmm.
you mentioned. Now, how do you prepare them for the growth? So, like, whenever they're almost ready to post, like, what kind of tips would you give them for growth? And that includes just like building your brand, tools like using hashtags. How do you use that, and on and on?
Yeah, I mean, it, the growth comes from consistently posting, creating content. The connections you build come from long-term posting content, connecting with people, giving value, talking. That's where the real growth comes. But in terms of like some tips and tricks how to boost it more, so definitely before posting, what I would do is just go to your older posts, open the comments and reply to everyone, like their comments. Maybe go to your followers and watch their stories, reply to their stories. Basically, bring some people back. If you're just starting out, this really works great. This will re-engage some of your followers and bring more attention to your new post. And for sure, like use the right hashtags. There's a lot of that goes into that. I shared that in the PRODUCERGRAM.
Yeah, the
Shameless plug.
PRODUCERGRAM goes a lot into in detail, and that's one of the things that I wanted to ask you. Obviously, describing that would be too extensive. And again, if you really want to learn, it's literally like a scientific method that you follow, almost like a formula that you follow to get the right hashtags. But overall, maybe if you could give some tips and tricks on maybe what kind of hashtags to use. And a big question that I always had in mind is, should you use the same hashtags in every post, or should you change them?
So in terms of what hashtags to use, though, look at the average engagement which the hashtags you want to use get, and look at your average engagements from your post. And if they somewhat match, well, use them. If something from other hashtags, the engagement is way higher than yours, then there is a low chance that you will rank. So that's really simple definition, I guess, how to choose the hashtags.
So if you have, let's say, like 1,000 followers, aim for hashtags that have around 1,000 maybe posts, or 1,000. The pictures in the hashtag have around those followers.
In terms of engagement, look like at the likes, comments, what people commenting, what type of content, and if it's something looks like yours, well, for sure use that.
Okay. And then if you go ahead.
If in terms of using the same hashtags over and over, like yes, use, but sometimes change, like maybe every 2 or 3 posts, so it doesn't seem like for the algorithm, it doesn't seem like you're kind of spamming the same hashtags over and over. So just create simple few hashtag sets and switch them. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you for those tips. And then lastly, before we move to like the second section of this interview where we're gonna give feedback, driving traffic. Like even if you have a really nice fan base, but you're not able to bring those people to your website, YouTube channel, music, they're kind of like useless, for you. Obviously you're building great relationships, but you're not using them for what you want them. So what kind of tips would you give on driving traffic to different places?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, use Instagram bio for sure. I mean, if you have 10k followers, you can use swipe up feature, or just mostly use Instagram bio. Send them to where you want to send them. I always suggest to send some kind of somewhere where you can build your email list, because Instagram could easily ban you one day and you will lose all the followers. And when you have an email list, you control the traffic. You reach 100% of the traffic, and those people, like, they're really invested in you because they give you their emails. Like, emails nowadays kind of internet real estate. And they actually worth more than a follower, much more, because they're in this state, like they're really invested, they ready to buy, they really interested in you. So it's always good to have an email list alongside of your followers. So always send to somewhere where you can collect their emails, whether it's a free, sample pack, free ebook, your music, exclusive content, something like that. Collect that email, build a relationship there, send them back to your social media, from social media back to your email list. You build that ecosystem, and that's really good for your brand's growth.
So you would say it's really important to like build an email list, and then once you build a close connection, you could share your music maybe first to your email list and
Yeah,
know
yeah,
that
for
those
sure.
people will definitely listen to it first, or not just
Yeah,
music. If you have any sort of video or content that you want to
yeah,
create.
yeah. That's
Awesome. Yeah.
100%.
And then obviously building an email list is a very extensive topic, but any tips
Right.
that you've had on building that email list? Maybe some platforms that you used. I know that MailChimp has worked for
Yeah.
me in the past.
Yeah, and I mean, in terms of how to build that, just create something or take something more exclusive, like which you don't really share that much, and give it to your email list and give it to your followers and ask them for their email.
So give them
Yeah,
value, and then in exchange they give you your email.
yeah. I
Free
mean,
value.
yes, yes. Some people just they like subscribe to my newsletter, but that's really not doesn't really work that well anymore. So give something for free, like kind of bribe them, and they will give you an email, and you can build a relationship here. In terms of software, yes, Mailchimp, you can. It's free to start. It's definitely, if you never done anything with email, start with this one. It's free. Yeah, I guess it's free. That's the main
Yeah.
topic.
Yeah.
And use
And it
that.
gets the job done. Yeah. Probably not, maybe
Yeah,
not
right.
the most professional, but it does get the job done
Yeah.
in the beginning.
I mean, later on, if you want to be more professional, I guess, start using other software. I personally use ActiveCampaign. That's more on the expensive side, but I do a lot of email stuff right now, so I definitely want to have professional software which is easy to use and that gets the job done really well.
Awesome. Well, thank you a lot for answering the questions. I feel like that's kind of like the three main. We covered basically like the three main steps
Right.
of Instagram growth, right?
Right.
Figuring out the content, creating the content, and then using that content to grow. So if you want,
Right.
let's move on into like actually giving feedback. So, we asked you guys to share, to just share, tell us if you wanted to be a part of this, and a lot of you guys answered. So we'll just go through your stories, through your feeds, and Jumpers will give you some feedback.
For sure. Awesome. Okay, so first one, I choose this one randomly. Okay, so looking at this review music, hey, what's up, man? First thing, I would change your profile picture without this red filter, mainly because first of all, it's not that easy to see you, especially when people open it in the incognito window.
Yeah.
It gets, well, not incognito window, but mobile view.
Yeah.
Sorry. It gets really not compressed, but really small, and even when they open stories, like it's just almost like a red blob. So they cannot see you. It's always good to have a really clear picture of you or your brand logo or something like that. So first things that, in terms of like handle, that's great. Review music. In terms of your bio, I would a little bit explain more about you, what you do, what's your music, what's in it for them, for your followers, by following you. That's
try and be unique, right? Figure out a way to be unique.
Right. Like India, I guess you could put Indian flag in the name or something, but unless it's part of your brand or something important, I would remove it or just put a flag in the name part. Witness is out. I assume that's your.
Yeah, he's single. That's his single.
Yeah, single. I would say like new single Witness is out now because people are dumb. Like I am dumb.
Go with an assumption, right? Go with the assumption that people are dumb, making it easy and clear.
Yes, like really try to make everything easier, simple. People like go to Instagram to get some kind of entertainment or something. They don't want to think a lot, so make it as straightforward as possible. And also click below, just say like click below to listen to my new single, or click to listen or something like that, because like click below, why do you need to click below? Yeah, I don't want to click below. Like give him a reason.
Okay.
What's called story highlights. Those are cool topics. You can add maybe something more about yourself, more about your life, because people love authenticity and it's easier to connect with you that way. And for sure, I would change the story highlights, the cover of them.
Yeah, put it on the cover, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it looks better in my opinion. And nothing goes right, go left, right. Yeah, that's that's I like this caption. Like that beginning is really good because it grabbed my attention, and I would want to click to read more, but I also want more context. Like you grabbed my attention. It's a really high quality picture. The caption part started like grabbed my attention. I would love to read maybe a story of yours. Why did you take this picture, or maybe just about funny story about you, or maybe sad story about you.
Uh-huh.
And after honestly, like after reading some kind of stories about you, I will feel like I know you more. It's easier for me to follow your brand, follow you, like figure out what's your main goal.
Even if you don't necessarily want to post like tips, you want to
Yeah,
want it to be a personal video. At least make it personal, make it unique.
when you know your like purpose, your idea, your goal with your stuff, not like content but overall, you have a direction where to go. It's just easier to do everything.
Awesome.
So yeah, just that.
Awesome. Let's move to the second one.
Bayon, I guess. I hope I'm saying that right. All right, so I like this bio. I'm not sure what does this mean, but if your people, your followers know what that means, then for sure use it. But just like from my perspective, like what's that? Especially that the first line, like I don't know what is that,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, I would make sure like that's something that your people understand. Your people, I mean your followers, that your fans, and if that's something really specific, maybe change it or explain it a little bit simpler.
On the profile
Yeah.
picture, would you recommend a picture of you or your logo as the profile picture?
Yeah, I would recommend your picture. It's just again easier to connect with you.
Mm-hmm.
I would, in terms of the captions, it's good. You're sharing why you did that, all the stuff, using hashtags. I'm not sure like how great are they for your profile, but I guess you made some research on that. But in terms of content, I felt like maybe you want to make it more fast-paced, because this right now it looks like it's for a YouTube video where people can sit and watch for 10 minutes. But on Instagram, like people really scroll fast and you need to grab the attention instantly. So make it a little bit more fast-paced, like edit faster, make more cuts, just to catch more attention.
Yeah, I feel like that's something you do very well. Whenever you posted some sort of tutorial, I remember you did the cautionary one. It was like easy to understand, but it was really, really, really fast. Which
right.
is perfect for Instagram. Yeah.
Yes, Instagram is a really fast-paced platform, so you have to kind of adopt this mindset for Instagram. For you, like one video performs better than carousel, then so I would suggest you to do more one video once.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're pretty consistent with it. You just have to post more. Ask your followers about what they want to see, and maybe like you can see like this one did not get as much engagement as this one. Maybe do this more. Ask your followers in the stories what do they want to see more.
Yeah, I think that's also something you do very well.
Create more, yeah.
Yeah, you keep on always asking and almost having like a conversation.
So yeah, like in terms of the optimization, it's really good. But in terms of content, I would definitely really go hard on creating more content and seeing what works and what doesn't. Create more of what works. Ask your followers questions, what they want to see more, and yeah, you'll slowly start growing for sure. Twitch, yeah, I would remove that first line. I mean, you have already that in the bio link, so for sure remove that. I mean, it serves no purpose. You can say that you do Twitch streams, but like maybe I don't know, streaming my production sessions or something. I don't know if you do that, but like if you do, like put something like that in the first, so it grabs my attention more. Mail records, yeah, I could put that. Journey deep records, I would put them in one line. Maybe add more about your content itself, what you do, just that stuff. Also, yeah, this doesn't really work. Like nobody will go to soundcloud.com and slash, write your URL to check you out. So either have one link or link tree where you can have several links.
Linktree can be used for that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, or put them on the story highlights. Like people will not go and type it out.
Yeah, they will not do copy paste into their
Yeah. I don't think you can even copy paste from the bio. Maybe you
yeah,
can.
not from your
sure.
phone for sure.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, 99% of people use Instagram from the phone. In terms of what's called profile picture, I guess that's with your brand. So maybe we can let it go, but something more close in terms of maybe even this picture, but just really zoomed in into the face part,
Yeah.
the head, this part, what's called the head part. It's just easier to identify you when you watch stories and stuff. Definitely add some story highlights, but to do that you obviously have to create stories, share stuff. This will require some editing, but maybe add some subtitles if you don't want to talk, or yeah, just subtitles like, hey, like I made this melody. The people who really kill it with Instagram are the ones who make it really simple and straightforward to see your content, to engage, and so yeah, that's it. If you really want to grow, like ask your followers what do they want to see more. For sure, like this is so simple, but most people don't do that. Like ask what they want.
Yeah, I agree.
And create what they want, and this will create a lot of engagement for that.
How often would you recommend people to post?
As much as you can, but make sure it's consistently. Like if you know you can do 3 posts per week but consistent, I mean that's on the lower side, but do 3 posts per week but consistently. It's not like do it every day for 1 or 2 weeks and then don't post for several months. That like will not work. It's more important to have consistency than just a lot of stuff in one burst. Definitely reply to your comments, because if people like, if you have low engagement and you don't reply, like soon nobody will comment, because like
Exactly.
firstly, like if they comment several times and you don't reply, like what the hell do I need to comment more if I don't get a reply? Second of all, yeah,
In the end, it's simple, right? In the end, it's like common human interaction facts.
right. Yeah, it's just like if you go to somewhere in real life and you like, hey, like you have a nice car and you don't say anything, like
Right, exactly.
okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah. I feel like people sometimes forget that it's real people that are watching their Instagram and scrolling through their feed. So you should treat them as real people. Let's move to the next one. Eric.
Producer, DJ, Team BL, Life is Awesome, bam. So yeah, it's in the good direction. Yeah, maybe first line I would add maybe about you, or what's your content about, or what's your music about, just to give like more explanation, more value to your followers. Like profile picture, I would love it to be a little bit more zoomed in, like this same picture, just like it shows your face more.
So,
again,
so that when it's really small, people could still see your face, right?
Right, like it's just like yellow something, but when you have your face, it's just easier to to see that's you. Add more story highlights, again, as I said previously, like about your life, about your music, what you do. Maybe you travel somewhere, or you produce music. It just looks better and more content.
Yeah.
Supported by Team MBL, Music by Lucas, that's great. So Life is Awesome, I guess you can leave it there, but right here, put new single, BAM is out now. Like your followers will get it, probably, that it's your single, but for the new people, it's maybe a little bit confusing, so make it really straightforward. I would add more a headline maybe, or something that will more explain more what's going on, because it's a little bit confusing right now.
Yeah. The first thing that you even said when you came in were like, what are those flowers, So
right,
maybe giving
like,
some kind of context would help.
Even like if you would say like a new single is out, new single, BAM, dropping tomorrow, and this will work. But right now it's just too plain to understand, not enough context. Yeah, that's it. You're on the way. Yo, sub extender. Right.
Yeah, I love this guy. This guy has like a theme where he posts himself with the extinctors. You know, the extinctor, the thing that you use for the fire. So that's like his kind of like brand
yeah.
identity. You see all his pictures have an he uses like comedy and stuff too.
Yeah, like for sure. Like I love to see that you're like you're unique. Like for sure, I will know you like this guy with fire extinguisher. Like
Yeah, exactly.
for sure. Even I would put it in the first line, like my life is all about fire extinguisher, or my music about fire extinguishers. Like really make it about that. That's really easy to remember. And put a fire extinguisher emojis everywhere. You just like really lean into this fire extinguisher thing. If you really like that, like go hard on this thing.
Yeah, go hard or go not or go home, right?
Right, on this fire extinguisher. Like maybe even add a story highlights why you about fire extinguishers. Just I would be curious to know, and I guess people would also be curious to know.
In his name is extinctor in Spanish. That means fire extinguisher in Spanish.
You're on the right track to growing more followers. Just really lean into this fire extinguisher thing, like just put it everywhere, and just create more content. Like that's your strategy.
Well, thank you very much for giving feedback to guys. I mean, I'm sorry in general that we couldn't go through all of them. I mean, there were way too many. You know, we would be here at least like 2 hours just giving feedback. So we had to choose. We did choose randomly. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for coming out again. If you want to hear more of me and him just talking about brands and growing on Instagram, go to our another interview. You have some solid 20-30 minutes there of great tips. Yeah, anything you want to say before we end this interview?
No, I guess I appreciate you for inviting me again.
Yeah,
it's really been a pleasure. And yeah, let's crush it with Instagram and brands.
Exactly, yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for everything, and we'll keep in touch.
Okay, bye.